This is OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog on TSN 1050.
Here we go, OverDrive off and running. TSN 1050 on the TSN app, your home smart speaker, up on TSN 4, up on YouTube Live. Brian Hayes, the O-Dog, Jeff O'Neill, and Keegan Matheson in studio. Wow. Look at these two.
My new best friend.
Amazing.
It was great to meet him. We've never met each other in person.
Isn't that incredible?
How about that?
How many times you've been on the show? Dozens and dozens and dozens of times.
It's great to have him. We can't wait to chat baseball. I do have to start the show with something unfortunate that happened yesterday, and I want to acknowledge it and apologize for it. I got a text message from one of my dear friends, Danny DiPasquale, who texted me and said, "Can I ask you what the hell you're doing on live television?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "You just randomly grabbed a stack of cash and started."
Yeah, you were doing that yesterday.
Dude, I had no...
It was really strange. I picked up on that live, and I didn't address it, but I'm glad your boy did.
Dude,
really weird behavior.
Look at me. Like, I'm just like flipping money. Because I was in a rush to start the show, and I just threw my stuff on my desk, and there was just a stack of cash.
There appears to be counting, though. Like, are you considering...
I know. Like, this is like a blackout moment where I don't even realize that I'm on TV. Look at this.
That's the back of a cab in Vegas trying to get back to the hotel.
Yeah, he's lost there.
Right there. He's shattered, and he's like, am I at the MGM?
That is like...
Yeah, dude, that's really weird behavior. Like, I see, I'm kind of staring at the camera, so I wasn't really looking at what you were doing. But we had Sansi on, and I think Sansi was kind of chewing you out a little bit. The two of you were going back and forth.
Look at that. Floating, like...
Yeah, what were you doing?
You're counting.
Well, first of all...
Really strange.
First of all, on the return, the view that I'm seeing, that low is not showing. I always tell Joe from the bridge, any reason you have my barrel in this shot? Like... Well, it's just so stupid.
But you move around a lot. You can't blame Joe. Like, you went and you pick up a stack of cash. You move to the side. You go and you grabbed a TaylorMade golf bag again yesterday at one point. You brought that into the picture. I don't think you can blame Joe because you are completely unpredictable. Like, I don't move much when I'm at home. No, I'm kind of just
You're a garden gnome. You don't move.
I don't move much. Noodles is moving, but generally it's just his eyes are kind of shifting.
Noodles is an in-and-out guy. He gets really close to that.
I like to go from the cross arms to the lean back. I got a bunch of different positions.
Yeah, you have completely different moods and vibes at home. But the counting the cash, I'm glad you brought that up because I saw it live to an extent, like out of my peripheral vision. I didn't realize it was that extensive. Like,
dude, that was ridiculous.
That's
like,
really
I should have been...
Really weird behavior.
That should be disciplined.
National television. Like, it's not, you weren't doing anything wrong, but it's just a weird.
Yeah, it's stupid. That was one of those moments where I thought I was having a conversation with a friend, and I totally forgot I was on television. Like, I forgot what my job was.
Yeah.
I blacked out.
Still a cash guy, too, huh?
Mandatory.
I don't remember the last time I've had cash.
Really? He's a cat.
I'm one of those terrible guys.
I love cash.
I'm one of them.
See, I don't want to live in a world where we don't have cash.
Yeah, I respect it.
I love cash. Cash is the best. My wife and I went for breakfast the other day, diner. First time, actually, this has happened to me in years.
They said don't even.
No. I put cash down. I said, change. They go, change, please. I go, yeah. I put 100 down, and the bill was 40, whatever. I needed change for a tip.
Cash.
No, they did. They took it, and it was like, this is old school. Like, remember when you used to go?
Dude, not a lot of places take it even now. They're like, we don't want it.
And that's the thing. A lot of places, they won't even look at you with cash. You pull out cash, they're like, what do you think you're doing? That's not how we operate. But it was an old school grubby diner, a great place.
I like it.
Like, diners are the best. Like, the vibe was incredible. Anyway, because I have like mental images of this as a kid. I'm sure all of us do. You'd go out, your parents would pay with cash, and every waiter or waitress would say, do you need change? Wait, I'll be right back with your change. We don't live in that world anymore. And I went through it the other day. couple of brekkies. My wife and I, we were waiting to get our tires flipped over. I said, yeah, I'll take some change for that.
It feels free.
Hyundai. I loved it.
When you pay
It's the
cash, it
greatest.
does feel free.
It's amazing.
It doesn't show up. It doesn't pop up on my phone.
Right, exactly.
It feels free.
It's an incredible feeling.
But maybe I need to pivot back. I'll get a nice clip, and I'll just be counting.
Well, I find in the States in particular, their cash folds so beautifully.
Gorgeous.
It is so gorgeous.
Mini carpets folded.
They just are so perfect. It is great cash. Like they know how to operate.
Nothing makes you
stack.
more kind of feel like a man than when you kind of twist up a hunch American and hand it to some guy for getting your
It's the
car or
best.
something.
Just a fruit roll up and just here, take that thing. It is the greatest feeling in the world.
A fruit roll up hunch.
Yeah.
Me and O
it's
act
beautiful.
differently at the valet, I think.
Obviously.
I've
you
probably
do.
got the 5 wrapped around some singles.
Yeah, exactly.
Lead with your best foot.
Or you maybe plastic, maybe put it on the room, right? That's possible too. You can't do that. Anyway, it's great to see you, Keegan. And listen, I'm taking heat. I owe people an apology today. I owe Rory McIlroy an apology. I was way off. Swammy, Samsonite.
You basically said I'd be shocked if this guy even comes close to making the cut yesterday.
Yeah, I thought 75-75, and I'll see you in the Butler cabin. Like, I'll have a jacket for whoever's winning. I'll see you there. I'm going to have a bottle of red. This guy is leading the golf tournament. He shot 500 today.
Yeah, but I guarantee you that guy at T3, the third one down, Scotty Scheffler, he is 3 under through 8. He might finish this round of golf at 7 or 8 under.
Yeah, he's making noise. Now, that balances my apology tour because I also said I like Scheffler a lot this week, and if Scheffler has a performance on Thursday, that's a roar that people are going to hear, right? Like, it's not quite the Tiger scare tactics, but it's the modern-day Tiger. Like, this guy, for a couple of months, hadn't been playing great, relatively speaking, based on his standards. Went away for a few weeks. He and his wife, they had their second child. He's been grinding. If he has found his swing and found his game again, that is terrifying around that track. Like, he won in 22, 24, 26. And if he can pull this off, he'll be, I believe, only the 3rd guy ever to win 3 green jackets before he turns 30.
Such a fascinating place. If you look at the golf course on television, like you see some of the views here, it seems like such a big ballpark, which it is. Like, it's a big ballpark. It's not like, a tight U.S. Open. There's room to move it around, and it's so manicured and so gorgeous. You have to think to yourself, these tour guys must be like, how could you butcher this? Do you know what I mean? Like, everything is so pristine. It's like you can't get a bad line. But we saw that stinky old Potgeeters.
Aldridge Potgeeter on 1.
On 1.
He sculled the ball through the green, Happy Gilmore style, to the point where I don't even know if we could find that video. See if
It
you
was
can
like,
find
he's
it.
a righty. It was like he had a left-handed wedge and hit it with the back of a left-handed wedge.
Yes, it was like here it is.
This is the 3rd shot of the day for this guy.
Look at this cat. Like, there isn't an ounce of spin on that golf ball. And I love the 2 old guys in the back. They're like, someone just hit that over here.
Where do you go from there?
Is this
My God.
Yeah, like, is this the par 3 course with someone's kid?
And like you
I've
say,
only seen one other chip like that, and I forget the guy's name, but it was outrageous.
But you're never going to find a
I think
place
I
with
know
better
that guy.
lies, with better grass.
Yeah, you're right.
Something about the Masters does something to people, guys. Like, I've got people in my life talking about grass varieties
Right.
who I have never discussed grass varieties with.
Yeah.
They're talking about length of mow on a day-to-day basis. It's doing something.
It's a great chat.
Well, they had a chat.
great
Todd
chat.
Lewis was
I
talking,
love
but
it.
one of the guys acknowledged it was like, and they do this at every major, I think, at every big venue. They do it at the Players, I know for sure, and Augusta. Never seen it in this condition before. It's
Every
like, dude,
single-
it's
every
Augusta
single-
National. And they said with no rain, this is what one guy said. Before, like around the greens, you would have kind of some bald lies a little bit. Now they're perfect. They've been perfect forever.
For 100 years,
Never
it's
seen
been
it like
perfect. It's been pristine. This is the 90th edition. It's been perfect for 90 years.
What I like seeing, though, I love the bright sun and it like firming up and getting fast. As you know, how many rain delays have we seen in the last 10 years? It just
sucks.
gets old.
You're right, and there's none of them in the forecast.
None.
Like, it is going to be mint the rest of the week. So
Mint.
There's going to be no delays. You're going to get exactly the timeline you're looking for. And it was nice here today. Like, I woke up, I had a cup of coffee, I was watching the Masters, and TSN obviously doing a phenomenal job, like, on the range. I'm watching Tommy Fleetwood go through his bag, which, again, is something that's a completely abnormal existence. You're watching a guy hit golf balls on the range and loving it. And I said, I got to get out and hit some balls. Like, I got outside today. I saw our boy Simmer. Your boy Simmer, he was out there hacking and whacking himself and
he was
looking and feeling
seeds.
great. He was hitting seeds. He was in good spirits. And everyone's happy, right? Because the weather's starting to turn. You got the Masters going. The Jays had themselves a big win yesterday. And I know it's only one game. And I know
see Vladdy's expression after at first when he got that out. He was like, he was praising Jesus.
Full-blown look to the skies. Thank you so much. We got to win.
Thank you. I don't have to listen to Keegan come in and ask dumbass questions again.
Right.
After another loss.
Well, 5-7 is better than 4-8, needless to say.
By the way, what do you feel your job is after a loss? Like, without, like, I know you got to do your job, but you know everyone's pissed. What is the one thing that you don't care about after a loss where you're like, I just got to ask this question? Like, when I was an athlete, it was like, I didn't like the question, like, what happened out there? Yeah. Like, I always found when Toronto media, the guy that threw the pizza to cost the game, like, they'd go up to him and say, what happened on that play? And I always wanted to say to them, like, you saw what happened. Right. What? Like, you just want to hear the players say, I choked my guts out and I threw a pizza. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, you have to tee the guy up right. And I've stopped caring over the years.
About
like,
what?
I used to be nervous about asking a guy after a bad loss when I was younger. I've stopped caring because I'm always there, and I think they know me, and they know that I'm not trying to screw them. But at the same time, you can't just ask a guy, so how'd it feel today? Because they will go up and down me and blow me up. Like, not this team as much as maybe like the Bautista and Donaldson years where I got told to go a lot of places. Mm-hmm. But after a loss like that, I mean, it starts with John Schneider. The first question, what am I going to ask? It's, you try to be a little forward thinking. You try to at least acknowledge that these guys aren't idiots. They're aware that they just got beat. They're aware they lost. And, man, you got to try to get through that BS a little bit off the top without offending them. Right? Because if I'm only going to be there asking those bad questions, they're going to think that's who you are. And then, part of the solution, too, is that if I'm going to pile on to Vladdy, if I'm going to pile on to Brendan Little or whoever it is, when they have a good game, I better show the hell up and do the same with the same energy, asking them about what went right.
Right.
So I think it's a long-term balance thing, but you see the drop-ins. And let me tell you, this is a big week for tourist media down at the ballpark with the Dodgers in town. You see a lot of people dropping in with the hard hitter off the top, and a player is just kind of taking that moment where they realize, do not blow this person up on camera, but they want to.
Well, the thing that they have in every sport early in any season, but it seems to apply in baseball more than anywhere else, is they've got the fence they can put up of, hey, guys, it's 12 games, relax, which I can appreciate. Yet you look at the way, just some of the displays that players and managers put on over the last few days, they can use all the cliches they want. Marathon, we don't, one day at a time, every game counts. This series had to have meant more. It had to have been one they circled. You look at Schneider getting tossed on Tuesday, which was reasonable because I thought it was a poor call, clearly.
It was great.
But he went ballistic, man. Like, he went crazy.
He went TSN red.
He went TSN red, and in part to try to, I'm sure, spark his team, in part out of pure frustration based on the way his team has been playing, because the Jays have played really sloppy baseball, a lot of mistakes that are inexcusable that they know, but a lot of mistakes, a lot of self-inflicted stuff, and the injury stuff just continues to pile up. Right? Like every other day, it's like, all right, there goes Barger, and now Kirk's done, and okay, Ponce is done for the season, and Scherzer's leaving in the second inning, and it just seems constant. Like, this is a wild one. We're watching it on TSN4 and up on YouTube Live. Like, he is going nuts, John Schneider. I have great appreciation for that. The points, takes a hat off to make sure he gets the bucket right in there. But they had to get the win yesterday. Like, you had to, and I think it was important that Hoffman he bent. Man, did he bend, but he did not break in the ninth inning. Vladdy's response to it, they get a day off today, 5-7. It's probably the best record they could actually have when you consider the injuries and the way they've been playing. And that's with a sweep of Oakland to start the season. But now, it's done. It's over. The Dodgers are gone. You get an off day today. You got Minnie in town this weekend. Get cooking now.
Back to normal.
Back to normal, exactly.
The expectations here matter because a whole bunch of people, a few million Canadians, started to give a damn about the Blue Jays last October. And that's not a shot. That's fine. Jump on the bandwagon whenever you want. I don't care.
But it's a reality of what's happened here. Yeah.
So there's so many people who are watching this team in April for the first time. And you see them beat the A's, lose to the Sox. Hey, it is what it is. But you know who the Dodgers are. You want to see how this team matches up against the Dodgers. And they put up 14 on them in the first game. I mean, my God, that could not have gone worse. That was a disaster of a first game. And it's about holding on to the national audience, guys, because this is a year where, for the wrong reasons, we're talking about the Leafs, but we won't be talking about them as deep into the season as we usually will be. You've got this wide open path to hold on to a national audience that you haven't had since probably 93 and 94. And you've got a chance to not hold their interest, but probably hold their wallet as well. Yeah. People want to go to the ballpark. They want to turn on the channel. They want to watch these games. You can lose that real quick, man. People want to turn on this team. I mean, people are losing their mind already, which is a whole other thing. But you needed that win. Like, I don't care if it's April 7th, 8th.
You got to stop the bleeding, man.
You got to. You got to send that message.
And look at the way the first two games played out. Night one was embarrassing. Yeah. They got pumped, and Rojas is out there pitching. And, it wasn't
What a middle finger.
It was not.
I mean, not on purpose, but it was the biggest middle finger you could
ever. Of all the guys, it's Rojas out there. And then Yamamoto does what he does in game two. We saw it 3 times.
What a pitcher, man.
He's unbelievable.
He's absurd.
Outside of maybe Skeens and Skubal, like he's number 3.
Those are the 3,
He might be my favorite to watch. He's unbelievable.
He had them completely lost on Tuesday.
They had no.
I mean, there's been obviously great Japanese pitchers that come over, but don't you guys get the feel that when they come over, there's a bit of a hit and miss factor where you're like, what's this guy going to ultimately... They handed him a bunch of dough. What they give him? 250,
350 million, 352,
and he is just like it's just like Greg Maddux. Like he's just like he's surgical. Like he's.
That's exactly what it is. He moves the ball around. He throws so many different pitches. He's studying. You can see it. Like in between innings, he's got his interpreter in there, and Mark Pryor's standing beside him. They're studying everything.
Yeah. That Greg Maddux was. There's a lot of really cool stories about that guy from like. You just see the clips on Twitter and stuff where he remembered a guy, like what he threw to him 2 months earlier, and he like just the stuff that he did in his command and
phenomenal
how he went about it. It's really interesting and cool stuff if you want to dig into that stuff.
All of the greats are a little bit nuts. They've all got that like really cranked up. Like Maddox, I'm sure could tell you what he threw in a 3-1 count to a guy on a Tuesday 40 years ago. Like unbelievable.
Love that. So, Jay's off today, back in action tomorrow. We'll start teeing that series up. Keegan, you got yourself a list we'll get to in just over an hour. Like, you got a few key things that have to happen now to kind of get the ball rolling, 5 and 7. The rest of the division not playing great either. It is early, but they're in one in terms of the expectation and the amount of people focused on what's going on with this team. So we'll get to that. We got Bob Weeks coming up from Augusta. He'll join us later this afternoon. Dreg's in studio. I mentioned the apology tour. One of them, of course, is Rory and my take yesterday where I thought he was overly distracted, hadn't been playing. We'll see. It's still only day one of the tournament. It doesn't mean he's guaranteed to win it, but he shot a 67 today, so he's 5 under.
Dude, he can freewheel this golf tournament the rest of his life.
Yeah, he's coming every single year. He never has to worry about it.
He's like, I'm going to let it rip out there and just mash my driver and see where it takes me. I've already got one. I don't have that pressure. Mind you, he could shoot 76 tomorrow.
100%.
He has some weird rounds out there.
Absolutely. But this was the big hurdle. Like, because historically at this tournament, Thursday was his kryptonite, right? He'd shoot a 74, and then he'd chase it the rest of the way. Yeah. You plant a seed like this, and you're breathing easy, and you know you can win here. Obviously, it's a significant statement from McIlroy. And the other one is the McDavid conversation where he had 5 points last night.
Dude, I was having a conversation with a very esteemed hockey expert today.
Yeah.
And I asked the question, once again, I've talked about it with teams, Colorado, the Tampa Bay Lightning, John Cooper, Bednar, the ignoring greatness. Like, do we have our heads in the sand here and we're ignoring the MVP right now with Draisaitl gone for so long and what he's doing? Why do we keep looking past this guy?
I don't think it's looking past.
It kind of seems like we have a bit of a different flavor for MVP on this show weekly. But are we overlooking the MVP right in front of our eyes? Because Jesus is incredible right now.
It's exhaustion. You get exhausted of a guy being that good every year. You know, it's voter exhaustion.
So you think if you covered Ohtani, you'd be after a while just like, oh, that's just what he does.
Happens to Aaron Judge. That's what led to that whole AL MVP debate last year. People were tired. Not tired, but you're exhausted of Aaron Judge being just as great every year. I think Ohtani might transcend it, but when I look at the odds and projections of McKinnon versus McDavid, I'm shocked that it seems to be so far in McKinnon's favor. And it takes a lot for me to speak against a Nova Scotian.
Right.
Blindly, I give them the advantage.
As you should.
But I'm stunned. And I know the odds have shifted. Some of the perception shifted with McDavid's big week, but I can't believe it's not more in his favor.
Well, in terms of the points, which, again, they're all within range. That's the thing. Like, if you just look at the numbers, he likely wrapped up the Art Ross last night. Yet, we said that about Kucherov 10 days ago. We said it about McKinnon 2 months ago. But we're running out of time. Every team's got 3, 4, 5 games left. You put a 5 spot up on the board, that's going to give you a bit of a breathing room. So he's probably going to end up with it. But Kucherov and McKinnon are going to be within 10 points of him, 8 to 10 points. McKinnon's going to score, likely hold on to win the Rocket. Not guaranteed. Caulfield's right behind him. So what is that worth? You know, if he's got the most points, but McKinnon's 7, 8 points behind him, but has the most goals. Kucherov has just been so electric and had a 40, 45, 50 game run that was absurd.
I just want to bring up one thing, Brian. In training camp, I said it would not shock me if Connor McDavid gets 140 points, 135 points this year, and you said not a chance.
No, so now I'm not going to let you go down that path.
No, I'm going down the path. He said his days of getting 130 points are over.
No, I never said that.
Yeah, you did, and you followed it up with it might be around 100 or 90 or something like that.
I did not say
that. But the days...
Find it, because that's bogus.
And then you followed it up...
I'll tell you what I said.
And then you followed up with, they just don't win MVPs at age 30.
That, I did say that. I said I'm not convinced, and I'm still not convinced he wins it. And this is why, it actually proves my point in a weird way, that he's having this season, and it could be Kucherov, it could be McKinnon, it still could be Celebrini. Probably not Celebrini after the loss last night. They're probably not going to make it. Probably puts an end to it, but you could make a case for him. And that was the point. Like, you don't just automatically be handed anything. The point I made, which actually is accurate, I said him establishing his height of points is not going to be reestablished. And that is accurate, because even though he's been this good, his best season, 64 goals, 153 points, he's not going to do that. Like, he's not going to end up with 153 points or 154 plus. He's not going to end up with
142.
Exactly, which is great. Totally. I predicted, it all started, we were talking about the projection of what his season would be. And I said I thought I had him at 120 points, 118 points.
Oh, dude.
Yes, I did. I had 45 goals. I'm telling you, we do it for the top 50 list every single year, and you have to project this kind of stuff. And that's what I said. And I said, I think his days, in fact, I know his days of breaking his own records are behind him, which is still accurate, because he's not going to do it this year.
I know one thing, he's going to get 50 goals, and you didn't believe in that.
I wasn't sure he would, but I knew he'd never get 60 again, and I stand firm on that. I don't believe he will, but I'm going to have to chew on it, because he probably is going to win the Hart now. He's real close to it, and if he does, he does. But the guy is he's incredible. I mean,
if I had to put a name down, like this is recency bias because
Draisaitl's out.
And his game last night, it's almost like if someone handed me a piece of paper.
He's still third on FanDuel, which is wild. McKinnon's still a favorite at -138. Kucherov second, +270. McDavid +350.
I think if San Jose got in, I might go Celebrini. But if you gave me a piece of paper right now and said, just give me one name for the MVP, the Hart Trophy, I would write down Connor McDavid. I would just write Jesus.
Yeah.
But third shocks me right now. I mean, a week ago, he was up +900. He was a way long shot, so he's steaming up a little bit. But that still shocks me at this point.
Putting up numbers, man. Like, he is putting up numbers.
The recency of the end of a season matters, too.
Yes, it does. And Draisaitl out matters, right? And now they're atop the division matters. Like, it's all about tie breaks when you get to guys that are this good. Because, again, your thing with the coaching is, why not just the greatest, you know, who's running away with it? Like, why doesn't that apply to McKinnon?
I just find the coaching of the dominant teams just gets overlooked. Where he's got good players.
But are we looking over McKinnon then? Because, you know, he's not, like, McCarr's hurt right now. Does that count, or is it just Draisaitl being hurt that counts? They've been the best team in the league all year. He's been the best player on the best team all year. What does that count for? I don't have a vote, so ultimately it doesn't matter. But the show McDavid put on last night, it was just incredible. Like 30 minutes into the game, the guy had 5 points. So yeah, Edmonton's in a very, very good place right now. Leafs, not so much. Like that game last night was, man, that was one of the worst games you can watch. And now they're in the Island tonight. We're on the panel for this. Peter DeBoer's first game behind a bench.
Yeah.
So
not too many games do I just like turn off and say I can't do it. I had
a tough one last night.
Yeah, it was gross.
Like credit, Washington just kind of came in and played their game, and they're likely not going to make the playoffs. Stolar's getting hurt. Led to Wall having to play, and Oktayamov is going to play tonight. So you've got one of the young goalies up, a couple of other injuries in terms of guys not going with the Leafs tonight. But yeah, that was just kind of a playing out the stretch performance last night for the Leafs, and we'll see what they have in store tonight, because you're going into the Islanders that are desperate for 2 points.
There's no bigger
have
game.
To get 2 points tonight.
There's no bigger game in the NHL, hard work wise, than the first game with the new coach. You see ass kissing at a level that you've never seen before. Like every guy coming back to the bench, come on boys, like it's just like, what?
Yeah,
what
everyone's
a bunch
hero.
of
You're showing up early that day.
Oh yeah,
everyone's a hero. Man, the pictures of Duffy with his golf shirt on.
Dude, he is flexing so hard with that microphone. I texted him and I said, buddy, I'm too old to kind of goof on Twitter and stuff. I said, your arms look great.
Yeah, they do. But like that, I think it could be minus weather and he'd be wearing that shirt. Like
Dude,
he's
honestly,
not putting a quarter zip on down there.
The lady, my Joy, shout out to you at the Cleaners on Lakeshore.
Shout out.
You can do anything to close. I think he takes that golf shirt in and says, can you give it a pinch tighter at the back?
On the right arm.
Tailored sleeve.
Only on the right arm.
Real.
Yeah.
Only on the right arm. Breathing on the left, tight on the
It's like
right.
a form of Botox.
He looks phenomenal, though. To his credit. All right, Bobby Weeks coming up later this afternoon. Keegan got a list on what the Jays have got to do to get cooking here. We'll get to that in just over an hour. Our best bet still to come as well. And Leafs Islanders tonight. Huge one for the Raptors as well. Back home again against Miami. Big, big game for the Raps tonight. Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 4.
Tonight on TSN 1050, your Toronto Maple Leafs take on Matthew Schaefer and the New York Islanders. Coverage starts at 6 p.m. Johnny Toronto! Hear it all on TSN 1050. The Leafs live here. Now, back to Overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
Overdrive continues, powered by FanDuel, bringing you more ways to play your game your way. Bob Weeks coming up from Augusta in about a half an hour. Leafs Islanders tonight on TSN 4. Brian Hayes, Yo-Dog, Jeff O'Neill, Keegan Matheson in here, and there's Darren Dreger. What's happening, Dregs?
What's the over-under on how many pimento sandwiches Sean Puffy Cameron has had to this point?
They got.
I think it's Bobby Weeks that hammers those things.
Is it?
No, he hammers, I think, egg sandies. I think Bob hits like 30 plus on a week.
Oh.
I'm not kidding you. It's an absurd amount.
That's tough. Those are either really your style or really not, and
Dude,
I'm not.
Those things are gnarly. They're bagged and
pull over at a gas station on the way out of Augusta and drop every pair of boxers into the garbage can.
I'm not driving 30 seconds with you in a vehicle after one egg sandwich.
Can you imagine this guy with a six-pack in his boiler?
What would your expression be if you just picked me up at the side of the road and you said, what have you been up to? And I just said, I ripped back about 30 egg sandwiches over the last 2 days. Want to have fun?
Especially if you're in a hotel room. Imagine you shared a hotel room. Like, not an isolated room like an Airbnb, but it was
Dude, you would
like,
open your eyes at 3 in the morning and the wallpaper would just be full.
How long do you last in that room with Ronnie Francis or Kevin Dineen? Like seconds?
Oh,
You're out.
kick your ass.
30
out.
boiled egg Sammys is so insane.
Why did I bring this up?
God,
Come on.
At a Holiday Inn pit stop in Augusta, that would be
Which is across the street from Augusta National, by the way.
Right.
You cross the street there.
right across the street. And if you're on the
gets
second or
tough.
third floor, windows locked.
And dude,
A
those old school
disaster.
Southern rooms, they already smell of
Yes.
darts and booze.
No,
So if you threw 30 egg Sammys on top of that, you've got a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, those rooms, they don't breathe down there. They
how do you like
not
the show
breathe.
so far, Keegan?
I love it. This is fantastic.
All good, Keeks?
You know?
All good.
It's elevated.
So the Leafs sent out a statement announcing what I guess we already knew, that they're using a firm to find their next head of hockey operations.
But what is the announcement? Can you explain the announcement, Dregs? Maybe.
I mean, only that it's been made official, right?
Can you explain? And I kind of gave Pelly heat for this because
Yeah.
I just thought that it was his job as someone that took on this role to just almost, and I don't want to say be like Lewicki, but Lewicki just kind of took control of the situation. He said, I'm going to get Masai, I'm going to get Brendan Shanahan. And it seemed like there was a control factor there. He was like, I'm going to try to fix this, and I'm going to do it. And there was not a firm needed.
Right.
Can you just explain the need for the firm?
I mean, it's a corporate approach, right? I mean, corporate America does this all the time. It's unusual.
But for hockey teams?
It's unusual for an NHL team to do it. It's not the first time that it's been done, but it is somewhat unusual. But I do think, as Keith Pelly acknowledged in his media availability, they're taking a non-traditional approach to the hiring of this individual or these individuals anyway, right? I mean, if it were as simple as having the alignment and the structure and the history, okay, then you keep what you had in Treliving and Craig Berube, and maybe you don't fire Brendan Shanahan, but we know that that's not their approach. But I think that much has been made over the analytics dynamic and how important. It's important. Trust me, that's not just lip service that Pelly paid, but I think we look around some of the current general managers and the guys who are highly educated, like Billy Zito comes to mind for me. This guy was a lawyer. He's a player agent. He worked his way up through management of the Columbus Blue Jackets, and then he got the job with the Florida Panthers, right? So beyond data-centric people, I do think that that's what Pelly and company are looking for, and maybe that's why you need a search firm to help bring in candidates that aren't so obvious to you in the hockey world.
Dregs, when we look at how this process actually works, like I'm curious what this looks like at the finish line. Is this firm presenting, here's your analytics guy, here's your old school guy, here's a throwback, here are 3 candidates? Like, what does this process end up with?
I think that's exactly what it looks like. And again, I think most of us jumped, at least my mind went to, okay, he's talking openly about Eric Tulsky and the Carolina Hurricanes. And again, that's Keith Pelly in that much discussed media availability, but it goes way beyond that. I mean, I think that Pelly would acknowledge that in the National Hockey League, you obviously have to have an abundance of hockey history and experience around you in the management field, right? So that's where it gets even more complicated. So we know, as Pierre LeBrun talked about, tweeted earlier today, that Sonny Maeda has been given permission to interview with the Toronto Maple Leafs and the New Jersey Devils. Okay, he's the AGM in Florida, for those who don't know, and he's the head of their analytics department. He doesn't have a wealth of hands-on hockey experience. So does it make sense then to either have an overseer again, whomever that is? Mike Gillis's name has been tossed out there in a speculative fashion, but at least there's a guy with some hockey chops, right? Hasn't been around in a decade, but the history of Gillis, I mean, speaks to maybe, having that 1-2 punch and then filling out the hockey operations department with other hockey-specific people. I got a little bit of pushback because I think it was on this show where I talked about how the Toronto Maple Leafs analytics department is second to none in terms of the resources poured into it and the size of the department, right? And that's true. That's true. I think it was misconstrued how I said that and what I meant, because it's pretty obvious that that department and its services weren't utilized to the level of approval of Keith Pelly, right? So I think that they'll probably in some way rebuild that department a little bit. By the end of the day, it's still going to come down to hockey decisions, right? Every decision they make will have a data attachment to it, player by player, all of that. But that's not a lot different than what a lot of clubs are doing right now. But at the end of the day, I can't imagine that the guy running the data department is the guy who's going to pull the trigger on a trade. That's going to be a myriad of voices and the hockey guy in the end.
In your experience, Dregs, in the past, with this Sonny Mehta,
yeah,
2 teams now want to speak to him.
Yep.
Does it typically like move fast for this guy where it's like he'll be off the board because one of these teams might have big time interest and say, we don't want to lose this guy.
Yep.
We have to act.
Yeah, and that's why Matthew Darch made it abundantly clear why he pulled the trigger on Patrick Waugh, because he was terrified that somebody was going to hire Pete DeBoer before they got around to him. So that encourages you to make a decision like that with 4 games left. And I don't know Sonny. I have an appreciation for what he does, and I do believe that he had some serious contributions to the back-to-back Stanley Cups of the Florida Panthers. But come on, so did everybody else in the hockey operations department. And the people inside that department beyond the general manager. There's some really, really high-end people that work inside hockey ops of the Florida Panthers. Sonny Mehta goes back to the New Jersey Devils. I think he was hired first in New Jersey around 2014, something along those lines, by David Blitzer, who's one of the owners of the Devils. Speaks highly of Sonny Mehta. So it could come down to that. I mean, whoever puts that contract on the table first, or wherever Sonny feels that he's got more influence or the job is better, he might have options beyond the 2 that we're talking about here in New Jersey and Toronto.
So with Darren Dreger in studio, what other names, or when do you think we're going to hear other names come out? I mean, Mehta, my understanding, they've already interviewed some people, I believe, around the hockey world, and now they've been granted permission here. Doug Armstrong, I know we keep going back to that, but at what point do we start to hear about other names, or do you think it could be somewhat stealth, or they have an idea of exactly who they want, and they're going to basically just go get this guy in the next week or 2?
I think it's somewhat stealth, to be fair, and nothing about this process has been secretive, has it?
Well, that's it, exactly.
Including the acknowledgement of the hiring of Neil Glassberg on Tuesday.
Right, which I have no problem with the transparency. Send the statement. It doesn't say much, but it's like, all right, cool, you're doing it, go for it.
But what did this statement mean? Like, just don't ask us about this?
I guess just acknowledging what's out there. Yes,
Verifying
we're doing this,
out there.
And we'll let you know when we have an answer.
And if the Toronto Maple Leafs were genuinely interested in Doug Armstrong, I feel like they would have moved on that by now. They would have gone to St. Louis to say, we need permission to speak to your guy. Good? No good. Well, that hasn't happened yet. So that tells me that, that's maybe Doug Armstrong's too close to what they had in Brad Treliving and Brendan Shanahan, and so they're pulling away from that and going into a different direction. It's a tough one to nail down, though, because it's a skinny market. We're looking at Nashville, and we're seeing some of these names surface. Now, Tom Fitzgerald is the most recent because he was let go by New Jersey. He has the history that he has with the Nashville Predators as a player, and I do think that there's some mutual interest there between Fitzy and the Nashville Predators. But look at the AGMs that have been around the Preds. Bill Scott, Brett Peterson, White from Dallas. But I can give you, with all due respect to those guys, I'm not saying they're not worthy. I can give you probably 2 AGMs with every club in the National Hockey League that deserve the acknowledgement of being real close, if not ready, to be an NHL general manager. So whether Toronto is willing to go down that road with some of the guys that haven't been mentioned publicly, we'll have to wait and see how the process plays out.
Yeah, there's some big names. Ron Francis is out there now. Brendan Shanahan, we assume he's knocking on doors, is he not?
He'd love to be. He wants
to get back in the game.
Nashville seems like it would have been a good fit there with Shanny. I don't know. Do you close the door on New Jersey with Marty Brodeur already occupying that role? But
what is
that
Marty?
would be a
is
good
Marty
fit.
the president there, or what?
Basically, the executive, whatever. Yeah, yeah.
Well, when it comes to the Leafs, they've got a lot of decisions to make pretty quickly. Obviously what they're going to do with their head coach, what they're doing with the staff in general. If you end up with the pick, okay, who's scouting for you? Who's making the decision on the 3rd overall pick or 2nd overall pick?
A lot.
Absolutely. Then you've got the uncertainties of Matthews and where's his head going to be at.
Yeah.
And you get to him quickly and talk to him and figure out what his plan is. The goaltending. I mean, you've got Okhtiamov playing tonight.
Yeah.
You got 4 goalies under contract, right? Like Hildeby is not waiver exempt anymore.
Yeah.
One of them's got to go this summer.
So I'm going to sound like an analytics guy. And that's fine because
it doesn't matter, Dregs, because we're an analytics show now. This guy here talks about shot suppression.
I don't mean to, but there are a couple of takeaways that I think are valuable, which I've learned in this Leafs process over the last several days. One of them is asset evaluation, and I never gave that any thought. And what that means is individual player by player. You just mentioned the 4 goalies. All right. What's the evaluation of what you believe that player is worth as an
just
asset?
to interrupt you, I've said this for my whole time being a broadcaster. The most important analysis or evaluation is of your own team and
100%.
players. Like, it's got to be the best.
And that I'm sure that happened under Brad Treliving's leadership. You know, I mean, come on, that's what managers do and hockey operations people do. But where I push back on asset evaluation is, okay, well, the 4 of us can sit here and go, okay, well, you know, we think that Dennis Hildeby is worth this. Well, he's worth this to us, whatever that is. You know, to consider a trade option on Dennis Hildeby, we're going to need at least a 2nd-round draft. You know, I don't know that, but
use that arbitrarily.
My pushback on all of that is whether you're talking about Austin Matthews, William Nylander, 3rd-string goalie. Name the player, doesn't matter. Asset evaluation can be applied by the club. It doesn't mean a hill of beans if somebody isn't willing to give you the evaluation.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Of course.
And that's where it gets really, really, really challenging, I think.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to talk about this, I know, in the pregame show coming up with the Islanders and the Leafs. But I went through their depth chart. You guys have probably done this exercise too. And I talked to some people, and I can't get past the definition of retool and rebuild. I can't. My brain won't go there because when I look at the depth chart of the Toronto Maple Leafs and I know what their needs are moving forward, and we'll talk more about that on the pregame, we're not talking about 2-3 pieces here, fellas. We're talking about almost the entire right side, right wing, up front, almost, beyond Willie. You're talking about at least a 2nd, maybe a 3rd left winger. You're talking about a number 2 centerman behind Matthews.
Oh, Dregs, it goes like it's a never-ending list. It's
true number 1
and we're talking like high-quality people that need to come in.
I mean,
not Joe Blows.
And again, with all due respect to Hildeby, Okhtiamov, the picks that they acquired at the deadline, some of the other, how are you acquiring these pieces? If you're not rebuilding, and I hope they do. Like, you know, I've joked about this. I'm a partial season ticket holder. I want to watch games. I want to send people to games that matter. I do. Yeah. I do. But you have to be a realist, and you've got to look at the big picture and go, I don't see how they acquire these pieces.
Exactly.
And you got
it's impossible.
It's hard.
It's not, I don't see how they do it. It's flat out impossible.
It's going to be hard.
They got to be patient. They got to be committed to it.
Well, that's the big question.
That's
is of all these people, some of these people that they've circled and they want to talk to and they like, what are they going to do when these people turn around and say, you guys are screwed right now and this thing has to be blown up? What does the conversation go to that? Like, what happens after that?
Yeah,
because that's the proper assessment.
Who's doing that, though? Like, which candidate would do that? Like, Doug Armstrong might do that if they got permission, they had a conversation with him. He's secure enough in his history as a Stanley Cup winning manager to go, sorry,
Darren, you think that people that wanted the job would lie to people and say, I think I can do this and that and the other?
No, I think they'd be creative in how they answer it. And there's solutions in how to make it better quickly.
100%.
Oh,
that's what I think.
You want the job, you got to go in there and you're pitching for a job.
You're going to go through the era with a Phil and Dion and that type of team.
You're preaching to the choir, but I'm just telling you, if it's no different than any other job, anything in the world. You go to Elon Musk and he goes, you know, tell me why I have the greatest company in the world. You're going to say, here's why I think you got the greatest company in the world. Yeah. Are you hiring me? Yes. Perfect.
No, but Hayes, if our show
you go home and say this company's garbage.
If our show was garbage and somebody came to you and said, how could you make it better? You'd say, you can't. Thanks.
But it's different if you have ownership, if you have different layers, if you have money involved. I hear you. I'm not certain how they get around that. And furthermore, they don't own their picks coming up. Like if they keep this one, and that's something hanging over them too. But that's a story for a different day.
You want to do? We got to figure out a way instead of analytics on the shot suppression. the egg salad Sammy suppression in Bobby Weeks undershorts.
Dude.
Oh, come on.
Apparently, this guy, I'm telling you, he loves them.
I've seen it firsthand. It's
More of a compression, I think. Compression.
Yes, it is. The expected egg salad.
Spontaneous combustion.
Yikes.
That's what it is.
That's exactly what it is.
The expected nose pluggings around him.
Okay, we'll ask Bob in 15.
Ask him.
We'll get right to the source.
It's a fair question.
Right to Bob Weeks.
People need to know.
All right, Dregs, we'll see you on the panel tonight.
Okay, guys.
There is Darren Dreger, our TSN Hockey Insider. Bob Weeks coming up. OverDrive continues up on YouTube Live. So the way the show works is generally it's myself, Noodles. Sometimes Jonas is in here. Sometimes Dave Feschuk's in here. We ask Keegan to come in all the time. He says, nope, not happening, not doing it. Busy, busy, busy. Gets word Boston Pizza's doing a food drop. And all of a sudden, Keegan's like, I guess I could make it in there.
That's when you know you're the real deal.
Hey.
When they figure out you're coming in, they're like, we got to bring the stud.
They think this man would like some wings.
Absolutely.
You know what? Wings are usually risky. Wings with this beard do not mix.
That's true.
So when I'll rarely do it in public. When I order in wings, our kitchen sink is one of those big tall necks.
Yeah.
After the wings, I will be head in sink like a dog under the tap, just a full shower.
I love that.
It gets messy, but this is a good day to be here. You know who loves Boston Pizza? Visiting baseball media.
Really?
They will show up the next day, say, we teed it up at Boston Pizza. And it's just a place where you can do whatever you like. Light lunch, BP.
Beautiful.
Heavy dinner, lean into 6 or 8 pints. You can live any life there.
The BP on front is just perfect before a Blue Jay game.
We got to do a show, get back down there.
Yeah, we did one a couple years ago. It was great.
I'll be there for that one.
Yeah.
I'll come down pregame. I'll
Absolutely.
miss the game. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. We got to make it work.
What we got to do is go down for a Friday afternoon show and then just go right into the game.
Yeah. I agree with you, man. Like, because they're doing great numbers down there, which is what you knew was coming.
Yeah.
And you fully expected it. And they've done a great job with the stadium. Like, everything they've done.
40K plus on a Monday.
They've done a phenomenal job. Yeah. And listen, they're obviously looking to have a good season this year. I still believe they will. 5-7, not the greatest start, but it's early, Keegan. It's early, and that's what matters. Very, very early. All right, hour 2 coming up. Bob Weeks will join us. Keegan's got himself a list on what the Jays have to do to get cooking here moving forward. We'll get to our best bets as well. We're tracking the Masters first round down in Augusta. OverDrive continues, TSN 1050, and up on YouTube Live.
This is OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog on TSN 1050.
Hour 2 OverDrive continues, powered by FanDuel, bringing you more ways to play your game your way. Best bets later in the hour. Leafs Islanders tonight. It's an early start. Early start. You can watch that on TSN4. The O-Dog and I will be on the panel. Darren Dreger, Lindsey Hamilton on the panel tonight because Duffy's down at Augusta, and Bob Weeks will join us here in a few moments. Keegan Matheson in studio with us. Keegan, you're going to have a 3-pack? Get a 3-pack of keys to success for the
5-pack of keys.
I love it.
My goodness.
Sour keys. Don't reference that around this guy.
No, those are. I look at the bin. It's this full bin that I don't touch. No, because I don't eat them anymore.
I know.
Those were your jam, though?
A sour key, man.
Man,
Massive
they're elite.
trouble.
That's a workout for the jaw, though.
That's the problem.
You need to build up. A few of those, you're toast.
If you have a weak jaw, you can't eat them.
Well, dude, I basically had a Pat LaFontaine, like,
You're like,
you know that LaFontaine, like, jaw he had?
Yes.
That was my jaw.
yeah.
They last
During
a while.
COVID,
Yeah.
I would get a big, deep cereal bowl, and I would go to the store and get 20 of those giant. My number that fit in the Ziploc was 20 to 23 giant sour keys, and I would mangle them in one period of hockey.
Oh,
No.
dude.
Yeah.
That is an astounding amount of gelatin.
And be right back the next day, and the tongs would come out in the Ziploc. Imagine, like, going 10 days in a row hammering that many sour keys.
Just a menace at the bulk barn.
Like, you had
Wow.
basically a pit bull bite. Like, do you know how strong your jaw had to be after 20 sour keys every night? Like your lockjaw, if you chewed on that guy's arm, we couldn't get you off.
Dude, I would just be looking out the window during the day. Wow.
Just scaring people.
He's packing a cheek of keys when he goes out to the store.
Oh, yeah.
Starting to do it in public.
Exactly. It's like,
Dude, it started during COVID. You just get into bad habits, man.
I love it.
Wild. That's a really bad habit, though.
It is.
Like 20 of those is absurd.
We got to get a calorie.
What's
count.
worse, 23
Crazy.
giant keys or like a three-quarters of a bottle of vodka?
Probably the keys.
I legitimately can't think of anything more unhealthy than 20 sour keys a day. I'm being dead serious.
Google or
Do you know how much sugar is in that? And those,
Doogie, give me a calorie count on 23 large sour keys, and after Bobby, we'll get into
I'll set the line.
3,500.
Oh, it's more than that because each one's got to be a couple hundred calories. Don't you think?
Over.
Let's get to Bobby.
39 and a half calories. 39 and 100. No, what am I saying?
3,900.
3,900. 3,900.
And I'm banging the over.
3,900 calories.
And just think, as soon as the last one was gone, my eyes closed and I slept like a small baby.
Which is
beautiful.
wild, dude.
Most people would be kind of jittered.
Yeah.
No way.
And those things don't move through your
It
system.
might have been your organs shutting down.
Yeah,
you might
that's
have just
right.
gone into a restive state.
There's a possibility
This
you
is actually
died
really
every
impressive.
night.
This is
Between you and your sour keys and Bob Weeks and his egg sandies down at Augusta.
Let's get a count.
It's a medical miracle the two of you are still alive.
Yeah.
Here's Bob Weeks, live from Augusta National, day one of the Masters. Oh, my God, look at Bob.
Oh, my God.
Dude, I'm telling you, Bob.
Someone flicks a dart at his shorts. He's done. Bobby, how many?
This is 11.
Oh, my
Been a
God.
good day. I think this is. I hit double digits today, and I'm hoping to get to 20 this week.
Dude, Bob
They're
Weeks,
good.
I'm telling you.
They're good.
Yeah, you're going to choke out. What's your record down there, Bob, for egg sandies?
I think I did 21 one year, but Graham Dillette used to try and challenge me, and most of the times I just kind of took it easy. I just got enough to beat him. That's all I had to do. So he's kind of moved over to the chicken salad side now. So
Okay.
gone
That's
AWOL.
disappointing. See, I told you, man. Bob is a legend down there. Like when I saw him a couple of years ago, it was people would stop me and say, "You know that guy? He eats 6 to 7 of these every single day here. An absolute legend around the park down at Augusta." Well, it's great to have you, Bob. We love seeing you down there. The backdrop is phenomenal. The weather looks incredible. It's going to be incredible the rest of the way. I had the boldest take, which turns out to be the dumbest take, yesterday that I thought McElroy was shooting 75-75 and going home. He goes 5 under 67 today. How big of a statement was that from McElroy?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, he's only had one opening round better. His usual folly here is he'll shoot 72, 73, 75 in the opening round and then try to play catch-up, and it never usually works. The only time he's been better than this was 65, and then that was the year that he did the Sunday 80, hipping it into the hedge by the private housing here. So this is a great start for him. He looked very relaxed, looked very content. He only hit one fairway on the front 9, and I didn't think this was going to be a 67 day for sure. But really, he just didn't make many mistakes and got a lot out of the putter, which I think was very happy to see, because this year has not been great with the putter. The rest of his stuff, off the tee, into the greens, all that stuff is actually on the PGA Tour. He's only played 4 times, but it's better numbers than he had last year when he won coming in. So I think his game is pretty solid if he keeps rolling the rock like that.
Bobby, for the first time, there's no Tiger at the tournament. There's no Phil Mickelson at the tournament. Like, does golf need a Saturday and a Sunday with Rory and Scotty in the final group to kind of say, these are the new guys and this is the way it's going to be? And I think it would just be fantastic for golf if we got a clinic like that, along with other guys on the leaderboard.
Yeah, I mean, there's enough big names right now. Like, coming into this week, I really didn't think there was one player who stood out above the rest. There's 5 or 6 sort of in that top group, Scotty and Rory, and you can go down the list, and Xander and those kind of guys. So anything in there where we can get a really good finish with 1 or preferably 2 of those guys in the hunt would go a long way. I mean, look, Tiger and Phil are just ceremonial people around here. Even if they were here, they're not going to win this tournament anymore. It's just too much for them. They're not playing enough. They don't play well. I mean, Phil's only played 1 round of golf this year. one tournament of golf this year. So I think that's nice to see them. But they're now Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus, 15 years ago. These new guys stepping up would give a big boost to golf, not necessarily this tournament because it does pretty well, but to golf in general, to have some kind of rivalry starting up.
Bobby, as far as the tournament goes, what is it about that golf course? Because I was mentioning to Brian earlier, it seems like a big ballpark. You could smash it around a little bit. You can get into some trouble, but it looks so perfect. It's just so well manicured. And I know you're getting a green jacket, it's at stake. But what is it about the golf course where some of the best players in the world can start butchering it? We saw Potgieter today on the first hole, just chopping broccoli beside the green. Like, what is it about that place?
That's the best part about this is it looks, I won't say it looks easy, but it looks wide open.
It's just like move it out there and
Yeah, find the green and then just chip it in or, putt it. But the greens are probably the biggest offense. I mean, there are some big swales on there. There are some big dips and some big rises. And everybody knows what's happened on this golf course. You can go to every hole and say, oh, yeah, this is where so-and-so did this, or this is where so-and-so hit it in the water and missed. I mean, you go to the 12th hole and you're standing on the tee. It's 150 yards, and half the guys are putting it over the green or in the water. And that, normally 150 yards is something that you can sort of easily get it close anyway. But it's just, I think there are enough little tricks out here, enough little bit with the wind, enough alleys, enough places where if you take a big risk, you're going to pay for it, unless you hit a perfect shot, that those things add up. And I think it starts to be a little bit of headworms for guys if they start to kind of rattle a little bit. Rory's a guy who today could have gone off that in the early going because he wasn't playing great necessarily. But I think if you've only been here a couple of years, it's pretty easy to get the trains off the track.
Bob, Scotty Scheffler got off to such a strong start on the front there today. And with the kind of golf he's been playing lately, good, maybe not the best by his standards, what do you see from him going into this weekend? Because I would love to see him involved in this with Rory going down another big one.
I kind of liked what I saw. That he's had some trouble off the tee this year. That's been one of his issues. And as Mark Zucchino's been pointing out, he wants to see the ball go up and have a little fade and just softly land. He hasn't been seeing that. It's been either the dreaded straight ball or a double cross. It's been inconsistent. But I think you saw the Scotty Scheffler off the tee that Scotty Scheffler has wanted to see. And it's amazing how when this guy gets a little time off, he goes back to Dallas and he works with his coach, Randy Smith, and they seem to be able to fix everything in short order. And so I do think that he can get it going. He does have some more, some bumps and stuff along the way that a lot of these players will have, especially on the greens here. But, I think if that first shot is in the fairway a lot more, I think he could be a threat to be around here on Sunday. It'd be hard to sort of keep him out of the battle, I think, more than worry about him getting into it.
With Bob Weeks live from Augusta, day one of the Masters. Sam Burns, 5 under. He's in the clubhouse. McIlroy, 5 under. Not a ton of guys under par, though. Like, the course is playing tough. It's windy down there today. I can't imagine they'll loosen it up throughout the weekend. I think most people know it's going to be 9, 10, 11, 12 under wins this thing. But there's Nick Taylor. There's a Canadian flag sitting T13. He's at 1 under right now. And Nick is a grinder, right? We talked about that yesterday.
I like him there.
Yeah, he can grind, and it is key for him. He's got to get in the tournament early. I know that applies to everyone.
But, dude, he can't grind from – if those guys keep making birdies, he can't grind from 9 and 10 back. Like, you got to start –
No, you got to stay with the pack, for sure. He's going to have to shoot. Yeah. He's got to be under par tomorrow, right, Bob? But that's a big start for Nick.
Definitely. It's a great start, but he was, I talked to him after the round. He was a little disappointed because he played the 5s in 1 under. Now, he came in here with a strategy that he really doesn't think he can hit the par 5s, or certainly not 13 and 15 with ease, and so in 2 shots. So he's been laying up on them and trying to get those wedges in, and that was the problem today. He hit wedges that look good, but the greens are a little bit firmer here, he said, and they're kind of rolling further than he wanted, or rolling off the back, as was the case in one of them. And so he's got to get scoring on those par 5s because there's not a lot of really good scoring opportunities on this golf course. But he looked good. I think he's strong mentally, and, we've seen him get into – if he gets in the hunt and he gets down there, boy, that switch flips, and he just starts grinding it away. We've seen him win, against Phil Mickelson at Pebble Beach. We saw what happened at Oakdale when he sinks the 72-foot putt in the playoff. He loves that kind of tense moments, that grinding it out and to make a great shot to win. So you're right. If he can get himself in position come Sunday morning, I think I'd like to see him battle down the backside on Sunday.
Absolutely, with Bob Weeks. So you look at the leaderboard again. It's one day, and a lot of guys are still out there. But past winners who have had good rounds today: McIlroy 5 under, Patrick Reed 3 under, Spieth 2 under, still in the course, Scheffler 2 under, still in the course, Adam Scott 1 under in the clubhouse, Matsuyama even par in the clubhouse. If I offered you a past winner wins this thing on Sunday versus first-time winners, which pool would you take?
Oh, I take the past winners for sure. I mean, Rory said today, once you win one here, it's just so much easier to get in there and get in the hunt to win the second time, because I think there's a lot of... Listen, these guys, this is one of the few tournaments of the year where they're standing on the first tee on Thursday and they're nervous. And a lot of the guys admitted to that after their rounds today. There was somebody obviously writing a story about it, was asking some questions. Rory admitted, he said, yeah, I'm a little nervous, but I do think it's easier to win the second time. The guy on that list that probably hasn't been getting a lot of attention is Patrick Reed. And he really played the golf course well. I thought a couple of hiccups here and there, but overall, he's a guy to watch if you still have time to place a wager down here. He might be a good opportunity because he's been flying under the radar. He's been playing on the DP World Tour. He's won twice there. He's won here obviously before, and I think he's got 4 finishes inside the top 12 since he won the Green Jacket back in 2018. So I like him. He's got lots of game right now.
Bobby, we're going to let you fly, but be honest with us, pal. 6 or 7 egg salad Sammys. How many silent ones did you rip during this interview?
Why don't you ask Duthie tomorrow? Because he got up a couple times. I try to time them when he's doing his solos, and not good.
Perfect. Okay, we'll ask JD. We'll get the analytics on that tomorrow.
I would love the analytics. Go to a quick trip and throw your undershorts out on the way home. We love you, pal.
Great seeing you, Bob.
They're long gone. They're long gone. See you guys.
Enjoy the cuisine down there. Bob Weeks, live from Augusta. Those things are packaged. Like, he literally is ripping those things open and gnawing on them. They are wild.
Dude, it's a wild.
I can't do it.
I couldn't
You'd have to get me to a high number to eat.
I would have to be starving to have. When I was a kid, I think my mom liked making an egg salad, Sammy, and I was just like, it's just not for me. But I love, like, if I need a snack, I have, like, hard-boiled eggs. Like, you eat one of those. I'm not making a sandwich out of it. I think the farts are outrageous.
Just the whole vibe, the look of it, the texture of it.
I need to see my eggs being made.
Yeah.
Either by myself or by someone at an old diner.
Dude, they should go on the panel.
I'm with you.
And grab his chair after this tournament and hang it in the Butler cabin. As like an like a...
Right.
Yeah. It's like here's Tiger Woods' putter from the...
Here's Bobby Jones' wedge. Yes. And here's
Bobby Weeks. Here's Bobby Weeks' chair.
Here's Bobby.
He had 60 egg sandwiches in 2026.
Gotta hang it a little above nose level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the shirt Nicholas wore on
And go
Sunday
Maple Leafs
86.
on it. Pay $100, you can smell it. Pay $100. Pay $100. You gotta give Fred Ridley $100.
Yes, cash, which is important.
Yes,
right? You got to roll it up.
Just counting.
Fruit roll up.
Fruit roll up $100 and take a deep sniff. And there's an ambulance
Reasons
on site.
carry cash.
Oh man, it is a museum down there. What an ad that would be. Oh my God! Here's Ian Woosnam's 5-wood that he played back in the day, and here's Bobby Weeks' chair. I love it. Oh, it's so good. Do you have any updates on the sour keys, Doogie? Have you been looking that up or what? What kind of calorie count are we talking? You still okay? You weren't looking it up. Okay, of course not.
I sleep.
Why would you have that ready?
I'm still astounded.
We just talked about it 15 minutes ago.
And we need to volunteer somebody. Maybe it's Doogie, who lives on a bottle of vodka a day for a week.
Yes.
And then another week of 23 plus sour keys, large size a day. Which week ends up better.
I think if I went home and asked my wife, what would you prefer I do? She'd say vodka.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Well, I think she'd be like, dude, you got kids watching you. You're eating 20 to 23 sour keys a day?
lying down in bed. That was the best part.
He's not even benefiting
I
from
was
gravity.
like George
No
Costanza
movement.
on my bed.
Yeah.
No movement, and I would just have the little bowl, and it was insane the patterns I got into during COVID.
I love how you blame COVID as if it was like impossible to have any
Came to your home.
self-respect. What do you
There was
mean
no-
by pandemic?
That was the hardship he faced. I had to do it.
Yeah, what
I
do you
had
want?
to do
Like,
it.
But it was like
I'm human.
COVID triggered it.
I
because
understand
It's like
that.
you're not doing anything. It's just like, well, like at least give me some keys.
In lieu of
You're
human
right. I got you.
connection,
I got you.
23 large shower keys.
23.
Doogie, you got a calorie count or no?
so
You have
impressed.
no idea, do you?
Any idea there, Doogie, or
All right,
what?
boys.
Okay,
Dug
what do we
it up
have
here?
So explain what you've got. Is this per key, or have you multiplied by 20?
So
Just give us per key for now.
per key is 150 calories
Oh my God.
per.
Dude.
So that would total close to 2,000 for 23.
Well, more than that.
More than that.
That's $3 grand right off the bat, plus the extra 3. That's $3,450. You're at
About that.
$3,450 a night on keys.
Yeah, just between 9 and 9:25. It only took 25 minutes to get rid of them all.
They say that's the best time to eat.
It always is.
I like to do the same. I like to have a large meal right after a Jays game
Yeah.
and then immediately fall asleep. Wake up, wonder why I feel terrible.
You must have just felt like garbage in the morning every single day.
That's gotta be worse
I
than
tell
any
you what,
hangover.
like this.
Like
if you
you
read
talk
any
about.
nutritional, like
Oh,
I
it's
felt
the
like
worst thing you
oh,
could
I
ever
was like
eat in your
I was like
life.
puffy and literally puffy.
Oh, my God.
That's how I got the road to 300, man. I was burying these things
Yeah.
every night, and my life coach said, "I need you to do me a favor," and he said, "I need you to jump on that scale right there."
That'll do
And
it.
then I thought about the keys a lot, but before
Yeah.
I took my first step onto the thing. And when I saw 3 bills on there, I almost passed out.
Dude, the road to 300 was paved with sour keys.
Dude,
That's what it was paved with. What else do you have, Doogie? You have another update for
So
us?
3,500 calories is equivalent to about 7 cheeseburgers.
Yeah, so that's what you're eating every single night. But way more sugar, Doogie. Like those sour keys are
dude, they're the
loaded with
worst thing
sugar.
you could
We're
ever
talking
eat.
300 grams of sugar. We're talking
yeah.
close to a pound of sugar.
Yeah, basically, it's a pound
You're
of
a
sugar.
miracle, though, dog.
Dude,
You are a medical miracle.
I cannot express to you how unhealthy it is to eat that.
Okay,
kind of
there's a new
food.
contest. Would you rather me 10 to 12 sour keys or 7 Bobby Weeks egg salad sandwiches?
No, I think the sour keys are better.
Any amount of keys.
Yeah, but it is a great question. Maybe it's worthy of a poll question. You have to do this for a week. 20 sour keys in like a half an hour sitting.
23.
23 a day at night laying down. I don't know how you can get that all in a poll. Or 7 egg sandies a day for a week. I couldn't eat. I'd have to do sour keys.
You know where my
'Cause
curiosity goes now?
I couldn't do it.
This
like
is
Bob.
expanding my mind in real time. What was the state of your mouth after that? Like, were you breaking out in like?
Yeah, dude.
That's got to be. There's got to be
Dude,
no saliva.
It was like
callousing.
it was like Skull Mint. After a week, you're just your mouth kind of creates an environment to welcome the Skull Mint. It
Yeah.
doesn't even affect it.
You're right.
But I got to
need like
tell
a
you,
hanging
if we're
exit.
going to come clean here and be totally honest, there were many nights on the road to 300 where the 23 keys was an appy. I would do 2 pieces of toast with peanut butter and jam after. And then if I still had a growl, I would do half a box of Fruit Loops.
You're 45 years old.
We're talking Fruit Loops and milk.
It was just a routine. It was disgusting, man.
Like literally a lost boy. Like that's what you would think Peter Pan was eating. Or like if there was a kid that was like, ran away from home and was 13 years old,
yes,
he would be
like living in a Walmart.
Yeah, and they just said, "What are you going to eat every night?" He'd say, "Probably Fruit Loops, peanut butter and jam, and a bucket of sour keys."
But then that kid would throw up
locked in
and
a
never
Walmart.
do it again.
100%, and lose all. Like what? You must have hit a dentist, and they must have looked at your jibs too, and just said, "That's insanity." Like that level of sugar consumption for your teeth is just absurd.
It's just we gotta go to commercial. Man. This is gone.
Oh man,
way.
Well, but I think it's important to be open about
I'm
this.
amazed.
I am.
It's almost like, yeah, exactly. It's like I'm Jeff O'Neill and I have a sour key problem.
I did.
Yes.
But he beat
I know, but you're always an addict, I think, in a weird way when it comes to the sour keys. Like, you got to kind of.
Stupid.
No, but I'm saying, like, if they come back into the rotation.
Well, I kind of
It's
blame.
troubling.
There's
That's my point. I'm saying you got to make sure that it doesn't
the woman that
kinda
works
cycle
at
back
my
in.
variety store is fantastic. I always see her. She was an enabler because I told you I would walk in, she would have the tongs and the Ziploc, and she'd be like, "There you go."
Well, you're putting her kids through school. I mean, a 20-pack of keys. What do they go for? $2.50 each?
Yeah, what's that run you?
It was like $15 or something.
You could buy those in bulk probably for $9.99.
$100 weekly sour.
I had a
budget.
20.
Yeah.
I had a $20 a
habit.
day key problem.
That's a habit. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, good to know that we're through it. Right? We're not going back.
It's all over.
But Bob Weeks is still addicted to the egg sandies. Okay, Leafs Islanders tonight. We'll keep tracking the leaderboard. Scheffler's still out there. He's 2 under through 11. He just got up and down on 12. If you wonder where Bryson is, we haven't mentioned his name. He was 4 over today. He tripled 11.
Wow.
Like was hacking and whacking out of the bunker.
That was one of the hardest golf holes in the world.
I agree, but he had troubles getting out of the bunker, and then he was whacking it around on the green, and he bogeyed 18. Mike Weir 9 over today. So Weir's the.
I kind of thought in a miracle way. What's Freddie Couples at? He was 2 under at one point.
Freddie was feeling it, but I gotta find him. I'm not sure where he is. 4 over. He's still in the course, but that's not good for Fred. You want to guess where your boy Potkeeter ended up?
He shot 80, didn't he?
84.
Oh no!
I told you that when we talked on the phone. I said, I'll bet you this guy blows an 80. I was wrong. It was an 84 for the Potkeeter.
That last.
Wow. That's like a top-end world professional.
Yeah.
Tournament winner shot 84.
44-40 is what he shot, the Potkeeter. And he could mash a golf ball. Anyway.
I'll tell you what, after he skanked that first ball on his third shot of the day, his shorts would have made Bobby Weeks' look like child's play.
Yeah, you're right.
Let's go to commercial.
If someone just tuned in, they'd be like, what the hell are you talking about? Like some guy got in the car 2 minutes ago and heard Potkeeter and Bob Weeks underpants.
And they just missed the sour keys.
And they just missed
Come on.
the sour keys. All right, continuing. You've got 5 keys.
We got to get serious.
That was a pun that was
5
not
keys.
intended.
It's spectacular.
5 sour keys for the Jays to turn
I'll
this
find
around.
18
Let's do a new segment. Sour keys.
Okay, we're going to start it next. Keegan, you're starting this sour keegs.
Oh!
OverDrive continues up on YouTube Live.
OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
I need you to hold on. Heaven is a place not too far away. We all know I should be the one.
All right, best bets later in the hour. Leafs Islanders tonight. Big one for the Raps at home against the Heat. Then they got the Knicks in Brooklyn coming home. Got to stay in that top 6 if you're the Raptors. Got to stay out of the play-in. You want nothing to do with the play-in. So big one tonight. They're favored. And, again, the Knicks have kind of owned them for a while. We'll see. And then Brooklyn to wrap the season up. But they're going to be playing meaningful games. The Maple Leafs will not. They have the X beside their name. The Jays, too early to really know. 5-7. Now, the Yankees off to a good start. No one else in the division is really doing much. Keegan, you're around this team more than anybody. You were down there throughout the spring. You've been there for all 12 games. You have been assigned a job by Doogie, and he runs a very, very tight ship around here. What are we calling this again? The Sour Keegs?
Sour Keegs.
Sour keys.
Sour Keegs. Where you're going to give us a 5-pack of things that have to happen here, right?
Just 5.
Just give us 5, not 20 or 23.
By the way, before we get to your list, I just wanted to ask you, the sports science has been talked about a lot, like how amazing it is and injury prevention. Do they start taking a little heat a little bit when all these guys pop up with these injuries, or is it just one of those things happens in baseball?
I think they used to. Remember when we used to talk about the high performance department so much? And I think they regretted naming it the high performance department because of that. I don't think I've heard it much around the Blue Jays. You know, you do in some other leagues. I haven't heard it much around.
Because you know, in pro sports, people like to get pissy at other people when things are not. Oh, what are you doing? Your power play stinks. Why are there injuries? Why is the medical this?
Suddenly, everyone's uncle knows the trainer's name or something. Now, if it was 5 guys with a blown elbow, maybe. I just think it's a lot of bad luck, bad timing. Honestly, it hasn't come up a ton, but my God.
Well, the Ponce one is a knee injury.
Yeah.
You know, and you just feel horrible for him. Like that.
Awful.
That is crushing. And Scherzer, this is what it's going to be all year, right? Every handful of starts. This was his second. You'd be like, oh, forearm. He thinks he'll be okay the next time he starts, right? He thinks he'll be fine. Barger, he's just running down first. And
bilateral ankle discomfort.
Like, I don't know how you're right. It's not all the same thing, but still. You ready for the list?
Sour Keegs, what are we doing? 5 first? Or are we going to go to 1? Is 1 a heater one? Or how
5 to 1. No, 1 is the easy, obvious, lazy one.
Okay.
Hit
us with 1.
So do you want to go the opposite way then?
We're going 5 to 1.
Okay.
5 to 1.
All right.
And at 5, we start with getting healthy, what we're talking about right now. Like, this rotation is toast. And I remember, guys, early March, we were talking around when they signed Max Scherzer, and I was wondering where the hell this guy pitches. And I thought it was going to get really awkward really quickly because you had 8 starters. And that's back when we didn't know that Trey Savage had his shoulder thing. That's back when we thought Shane Bieber would be built up quicker. But now, even when you look at Trey Savage, he threw 50-plus pitches today in a rehab game. He'll be back in a couple weeks. But do I trust that Jose Berrios can pitch through a cracked elbow? It'll be the first one I've covered. Do I trust that this is the last time I ever say the word forearm about Max Scherzer? No.
But your phrase there, Keegs, get healthy fast. I know that's on your list, but is it even possible? Like,
no, like especially with how they handle players now. You know, I think the Blue Jays are a cautious team bringing players back. But I've learned over the years, and that's not always cautious in a bad way, I've learned over the years that just like with Jose Berrios coming back to this, building back up, I always try to add 50% to what I actually think will happen. If I think it's going to be a month, it's probably 6 or 7 weeks. You know, same with Alejandro Kirk coming back. It's 6 weeks. Does he need a little longer? Do you need a rehab? Trey Savage, if you wanted to get really aggressive, crank him up here next week, whatever. But they're not going to do that. So I think it's going to take some time. And, I mean, I even forget Anthony Santander on the IL. I remembered yesterday looking at my own story. I forget about these things.
Yeah.
Right? But I think that Barger is one of the most important ones. They need him back. They need him doing something. He was walking around the clubhouse, and he looked like both bilateral ankles, were injured. So, man, they need him back. But these injuries, guys, have gone way beyond anything we've seen.
What the hell's the deal with Santander? Like, is he just a mystery guy that you'll just never hear from again, or what?
Yeah, I don't think I'll see him much this year. Maybe he'll join them for a Florida series in the dugout.
Oh,
but
God.
He is
rehabbing and gone,
rehabbing and gone. And
is there a part of that where the team just says, please go away? And
I don't think you are dying to have injured guys around. You know, it was, I don't know what the right word is, but I remember when Alek Manoah was working through his rehabs, and he was always with the team, walking in with the rotation.
Oh, he loved it.
And it's a matter of, are you even in this rotation when you come back?
Oh, that miffed my brother. He was always like, how does this guy, he's always injured, and yet he's up with the big club. It was crazy.
Now, granted, if I was on the IL, I'd be up with the big club, just eating Uncrustables and crushing beers in the clubhouse. Absolutely. It's probably a better life than sitting in Dunedin more. But, man, they need some of that.
Okay, we got that at number 5.
Moving on. 4, they need to figure out their catching without Alejandro Kirk. Their catching has been a mess lately. Tyler Heineman has not carried over that magic from last year, and he was spectacular last year. Like, full credit to Tyler Heineman. He had a breakout season at about 34 years old. Good defensive catcher. Everything he hit made it through somewhere last year. Some of the fundamental errors have come back this year. And if you're going to be 6 or 7 weeks without Alejandro Kirk, like, I'm a big Brandon Valenzuela guy. I think that he could be a big leaguer. It's been
doesn't
tough.
he? Yeah, he hasn't had a great. It's early, but the debut has not been great at the plate.
And he had a big at bat where he chased that high fastball, looked completely overwhelmed. So, do you give him 3 starts a week and let him figure it out, or do you just hand this to Heineman and say you're the guy for this? Because I think that Brandon Valenzuela can be their backup catcher for the next 5 years behind Alejandro Kirk, and I think they'd work well together. But it hasn't looked good, and you need something from the bottom of this lineup that's just not doing much lately. In the catching position with Alejandro Kirk, they're blessed, man. Like, he's a top 3 or 4 catcher in Major League Baseball. And without him, that thumb, like they are lucky as hell he did not have a ligament inclusion in that, but they need something from catching.
Big time. Like Kirk, I would separate the arms discussion from the bats discussion.
Yeah.
And like Barger might be, now it's complicated because Springer's going to DH, and if Barger needs to DH, I don't know how they're going to make that work. But Kirk is just crushing, man. Like there's just no sugarcoating that.
Outside of Vladdy, the least replaceable.
I'd put him almost on par with Vladdy because of the importance of the position is more significant than what Vladdy plays.
And he impacts everyone.
Absolutely.
All right, number 3. We're moving. They need to get Dalton Varsho going in any way. Dalton Varsho, without Addison Barger in the lineup, we talked about Varsho and Barger 100 times this spring, guys. Who other than Vladdy is going to hit home runs? Dalton Varsho had, 5 home runs in spring training?
Well, Hayes was talking about Varsho like he was going to hit 35.
Well, last year when he was healthy, he did. Like this guy was mashing last year.
20 in 71 games.
Yeah.
He looked incredible. And Varsho is not at all the biggest guy on the team. He might be the smallest guy on the team, but pound for pound, he's the strongest. Like, unbelievably built. Like, if I was turning that team into a football, he'd be like my running back. Like, he is rock solid, really built, but you're not seeing that power early this year. And what worries me a bit, guys, we saw him tested as a defender a couple times in the series. His throwing arm isn't there.
His arm is struggling.
And that's something that hasn't really been talked about, and I think needs to be, because coming back from that shoulder surgery, right?
That's the only thing that fixes it?
Yeah, he had that shoulder surgery last offseason. And when you come back from it, when you look at his numbers so far, they're 5, 6, 7 miles an hour slower. You're seeing these arcing balls going into the infield. The Dodgers tested it. And it's one thing to be an incredible defender and make every catch, but you need the arm. And that worries me with Varsho, both, from a team standpoint, but individually. He's a free agent after this year.
Right.
And the ceiling and floor of his free agency are a million miles apart.
Sure they are.
Like, he could be one of the top free agents in a pretty weak class, to be honest, or he could be a guy looking at coming back on a shorter-term deal. If
his agent must be hate watching him right now. Like, that's spendy, man.
And he's hitting 2 in the lineup, and they're trying. You said that in the spring. They're like, we're going to try to give him that opportunity.
They need something.
And he hasn't really salvaged it. Now, he's still probably going to be there because Kirk and Barger are out. No one else is really hitting.
Have to be.
But, okay. We
that
got
brings us to
Varsho
number
at 3.
2. With that opening in the outfield, I want to see more Davis Schneider, and I want to see more Jesus Sanchez.
Sanchez has been pretty good.
He's fun, man. There's a lot of personality there. It's like a really revved up on caffeine Teoscar Hernandez.
Sour keys.
And no, on sour keys, approximately 23 of them. But he is Addison Barger. He swings the bat as hard as anyone in baseball, Addison Barger included, right up there. And he takes those big cuts that you need to see from this lineup. Davis Schneider had a hell of a game yesterday, too. He had 2 at-bats, 2 walks, didn't put a damn ball in play, but he was still their most important player because he was not stupid on the bases. He did things right on the bases and did small things right. Davis Schneider does the small things right. Jesus Sanchez does a big thing that might wipe out everything else. Now, is he going to look like Teoscar in left field and make a mess of it? Sure, whatever. But if he hits a ball 480 feet, I do not care about that.
We can live with that.
So you need some of these guys who are going to keep the team solid. And I think Davis Schneider is that. Like, he's on this team for a reason. I want to see him in there as much as possible. But Jesus Sanchez, I think the upside there is ridiculous. I think his upside, especially facing right-handed pitching, is what you need in this lineup with Varsho down, with Barger not doing much, and without Vladdy, who was up there at number 1. Len with Vladdy. Because, like I said, it's the lazy, easy answer, but Vladdy hasn't been Vladdy yet.
Still applies, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, it still applies.
If Vladdy he's not going to be himself like he was in the postseason last year. He's not going to put up a 1289 OPS. That's ridiculous. But right now, he is just being a good version of himself. And I see a guy who is trying really, really hard when for Vladdy, the solution is probably showing up at 7:06 p.m. and just jumping on the field. After the games in Chicago, he was out in the cages hitting next to us. After a few games against the Dodgers, he's in the cages afterwards hitting. And I like that. I admire that. He is working. But I think that a loose and fun Vladdy is a good Vladdy. And we're not seeing a great version of him yet with a lot of pressure, more pressure than he's ever had.
Well, that's it. I mean, and it's the appropriate pressure. It's not contractual pressure or anything like that. It's, hey, they made the World Series last
pressure
year.
You want.
Now everyone thinks you can do it again. Go out and do it. And he's the leading man for that, right? And That's why, you see his reactions to different moments in games. You see John Schneider's, and I think Schneider's kept, pretty even keel in his post-game interviews, which is what he does pretty well.
Very well.
But they have to continue to have confidence, which they should against 12 games in. But there's been a lot thrown at them with injuries and just poor play. And, Bichette's not here anymore and Bassett's not here anymore. Some of the guys who were kind of pillars in that room, they're not coming back. I like that list, and I think it checks all the marks.
And, Vladdy's handled it well, but, John Schneider's already having to answer for a lot, guys.
Yeah.
I think he's handling it well. I think of Tony Vitello, the new manager in San Francisco, where every post game is like, what is this guy doing?
Yeah.
Like, he is so far out over his skis when he's talking about these things.
Dude, he was yelling at the ball boy the other day.
And he's leaving so many openings for media just to say, what the hell, and get into this. And whereas John Schneider, it's his job not to be dramatic. It's his job to make it so that when the next day comes and I wake up in the morning, there's nothing else left to really talk about. And I think he's done a good job of that, but you can only do that for so long.
Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, at some point, 5-7 is one thing, 10-14 is another, right? 20-28, like you keep doing the math. If you keep going down this path, you're like, all right, now it's starting to get to a point where people are really going to be on you, because they also have been granted, which they've deserved, uber optimism in the marketplace, right? In the media, collectively, regardless of what company you work for, you're like, these guys deserve to have their tires pumped when they show up, right? You guys, great season last year, pretty active, quality offseason. Everyone got their deals, and now it's like, all right, you got to start playing. You got to start going, and he's got to sharpen things up. Like, they've made a lot of errors, a lot of base running mistakes.
Yeah.
Like, those are things Schneider's going to wear.
Like that Vladdy one yesterday. Like, if they had have lost the game, I'm writing a story about
Can't have that. Cannot have that. And, listen, they're lucky to be 5-7. Yet, I think if you're them and the glass half full, you're probably trying to convince yourself, like, this is as bad as it's going to get. For injuries, for poor play, sloppiness, maybe our heads aren't on straight, but we're still only 5-7. It's all good. All right, Leafs Islanders tonight. You're over on the panel. Go get my seat warm, Bobby Weeks style. I'll be over there soon.
Let's get a hidden camera at the Quick Trip in Augusta.
I love that idea.
Because we want to see those things disposed of.
All right, best bets coming up.
And if anybody goes to the Butler cabin, we want a pick of the chair in a glass case.
Yes, Tiger, Scotty Cameron.
Yeah.
Jack's wedge.
Ben Hogan's spikes.
Yes. And Bobby Weeks' chair. All right. We'll catch you on the panel. This is the O-Dog. Best bet still to come. OverDrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 4.
Tomorrow on TSN 1050, your Toronto Raptors take on the New York Knicks.
Jams it down. Take that with you.
Coverage starts at 7 p.m. Hear it all on TSN 1050. The Raptors live here. Now, back to OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
All right, best bets powered by FanDuel. Make your picks and assemble a same-game parlay in seconds on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. I'm actually going to take the points with Miami tonight. Like, the Heat, they know where they're going. They know they're in the play-in. They've been here for a couple of days. Raptors, though, have just been so inconsistent. The spread's 3.5. They beat them up the other night. Look good, but I think this is a closer game.
I just don't love where the Raptors are.
Yeah, they're too inconsistent.
It's a good team that's not great that I don't think will roll over anyone in the postseason.
Yep, I think that's the unfortunate reality. Like,
yeah.
they're going to get in. I mean, whether it's the play-in or the playoffs, and if they play the Knicks, that's trouble.
Yeah. They're kind of my warning for if you try to retool and you don't pull it off all the way.
That's right.
Staying good can be a dangerous thing. It keeps you from being great.
That's exactly what it is, and that's, I think, what they are. Best bets powered by FanDuel. Same-game parlays available for every NBA game on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Please play responsibly. 19+, physically located in Ontario. Leafs Islanders coming up on TSN 4 and TSN Radio. So you get a chance to watch Matthew Schaefer and Peter DeBoer's first game behind a bench, which is wild. That they have 4 games left and Peter DeBoer is stepping
These late
in.
changes are wild.
Really crazy.
Like I heard you guys talking yesterday about how Lamoriello did it once back in the day, but the NBA comp is good, I think, man. It's fast.
Yeah, no, you're right. And the Islanders, it's just they've lost 4 in a row, and they're likely going to miss the playoffs now. Philly is on fire. Pittsburgh's been great. They're going to make it. Ottawa, they just keep winning. They're back in action tonight. So I don't think DeBoer is going to be stepping in thinking, I can guarantee you the playoffs this year. I think that'd be silly to expect with 4 games left. Yet, playing the Leafs, especially on a back-to-back, is probably a good setup for them.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a new coach, this is kind of what you want, with all due respect to the Leafs and considering the way they've been playing this year.
Big game for top 5 pick watchers.
Yes.
Big game for odds watchers.
Very significant. Like, it just feels like they're going to straddle the line, and it's really going to come down to a miracle breaking their way.
Draft lottery night, man. These are some of the most important ping pong balls
ever
since Austin Matthews. This is incredible.
The most important since Matthews, without question, because you're either handing over the 6th, maybe 7th pick, maybe 8th pick to Boston with Fraser Minton for a player in Brandon Carlo that I just don't see having any value around the league. Or you're winning the lottery, getting a really good pick, at least having a cherry on top of what's been a very difficult season, right? Like, if you're a fan, at least you could point to that. Like, the draft means something, and you can track it. That said, the anxiety will start to build up on the picks rolling over, right? Because then next year, Boston gets an unprotected pick, Philly with an unprotected pick the year after that. If they're on the verge of really struggling here in the future, that could be a real sweat.
So messy.
Yeah, it's not good, man.
Rebuilding isn't hard when you have your picks.
That's right.
But man, in this spot, I don't envy it.
No, it's not. It's not a good scene. So, Leafs Islanders tonight. Raptors in action tonight. Jays Twins starting tomorrow. So you got your weekend plans, right? Rogers Center, Masters.
Love it.
Doing your thing, man.
Come home from that Sunday game and just sit right down. Will I see the end of the Jays game? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's valid, too. Hopefully they're winning big, and it's all good, and you don't have to worry about it. Keegan, great seeing you, man. Thanks for putting up with us this afternoon, as always.
My pleasure.
Today it was a particularly strange show, but it's all good. Tomorrow we're up on TSN 5. Thanks to everyone behind the scenes for helping out. We appreciate it. Everyone for tuning in today. TV, radio, podcast, web, and, of course, up on YouTube Live. We're out of here. Enjoy your evenings. Enjoy the games tonight. We're back tomorrow at 4 p.m.
We'll chat then.